Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today, it must be campaign season because the establishment uniparty installed surrogate vessel president Joe Biden is actually making changes. Now, it's very important that we pay very close attention to the wording here because, of course, the media is framing things in such a very interesting way that, of course, we here at the BuzWeaver channel then have to take that and then explain it in very simple terms. Not that you guys couldn't understand it because you're very astute. But, of course, what we do here on the BuzWeaver channel is we take the difficult, we take the complicated, we take the tumult, we take the confusion, and we break it down into very simple terms because the media refuses to just give people the direct, straight information. So, from the AP, Biden rolls out migration order that aims to shut down asylum requests after months of anticipation. So I know you guys are paying very close attention here. So the establishment uniparty vessel surrogate President Joe Biden on Tuesday unveiled plans to enact immediate significant restrictions on migrants seeking asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border as the White House tries to neutralize immigration as a political liability ahead of the November elections. It's because it's an election. Now we're seeing Joe Biden make decisions that are going to help the country. Well, they're very minimal decisions, as minimal as the shrinkflation minimums that we're seeing in our packaging in our grocery store. So aside from all the other fluster here, it's very important, this section here. The White House detailed the long-anticipated presidential proclamation signed by Biden. Oh, yeah, long awaited. It should have been years ago, which would bar migrants from being granted asylum when U.S. officials deem that the southern border is overwhelmed. Wow. The Democratic president has contemplated unilateral actions for months, especially the collapse of bipartisan border. Okay. Here's what's important right here. Pay very close attention to this. The order will go into effect when the number of border encounters between ports of entry hits 2,500 per day. That's the way they're supposed to be coming in. That's what they're supposed to be doing, coming in through ports of entry, but they aren't coming in through ports of entry. Isn't this absolutely mind-numbingly agonizing? They write these articles in a way as though people are just stupid. They think that everyone is absolutely ignorant of the fact of what's actually happening there. So Biden is trying to, obviously, during a campaign season, try to look as though he's actually doing something, as though there's some level of competence to this individual. Now, granted, it's the establishment uniparty that's in control, but the idea that they're going to be slowing it down at ports of entry, that's not where we're having the problem. That's where they're supposed to be going, is ports of entry. That's what everyone's been saying. That's what we've been talking about for years. Build a wall, remember? Why? So they will have to come in through ports of entry. You know, when reality hits these Democrats, they still try to claim semblance of rational, cogent thought. It's absolutely astounding to me. But then, of course, we also have this from the New York Post. Biden admin offers mass amnesty to migrants as it quietly terminates 350,000 asylum cases. Sources. Amazing. While the Biden administration is attempting to look like it's getting tough on the border, look like. Behind the scenes, it's opening a program of mass amnesty for migrants, the Post can reveal. Data shows that since 2022, more than 35,000 asylum cases filed by migrants have been closed by the U.S. government. If the applications don't have a criminal record, applicants don't have a criminal record and or otherwise not deemed a threat to the country. So they're being very selective. And that's what Democrats do. They're selective. When it comes to Americans, they're equally as selective. So instead of helping the Americans as a whole, as the entirety of the United States, the Democrats focus on very selective groups of individuals, provide those select groups of individual particular attention, particular platforms, perceived rights, perceived privileges instead of America as a whole. This means that while the migrants are not granted or denied asylum, their cases are terminated without a decision on the merits of their asylum claim. They are removed from the legal system and no longer required to check in with authorities. So it doesn't matter what they do. They can be here illegally. They're not going to be removed from the country. And a lot of people are speculating, as we have also speculated, that it is a matter of, so in other words, because of this, that doesn't mean that they're going to, rush out and vote. But what it can mean is that these individuals can move to certain parts of the country, allowing for additional congressional seats and additional electors, which is another strategy by Democrats. So just wanted to point out here, population versus electoral vote, so people can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. So below is a list of states along with their population, number of electoral votes, and a percentage that demonstrates the relative value of a vote cast in the state compared to the national average. For example, in 2008, on average, a state is awarded one electoral vote for every 565,000 people. However, Wyoming has 3 electoral votes and only 532,000 citizens as of 2008 estimates. As a result, each of Wyoming's 3 electoral vote corresponds to 177,000 people. Understood in one way, these people have 3.18 times as much clout in the Electoral College as an average American, or 318%. So my point here is they can distribute these individual people, these, say, for example, 350,000 people, and distribute them within certain states and within certain areas and within certain districts. Like we're very much seeing how DeSantis sent many of them over to Martha's Vineyard. These sorts of that sort of thing can go on. So they can shift these people around if they need them for electoral votes. So they don't even have to vote. They don't even have to find some way to vote. And what's funny is Mexico just got their first female president. And ironically, they were the Americans that have that dual citizenship and so forth were able to go to the consulate and vote. And here's what's interesting. They had to have ID to vote. They had to have ID to vote. Here's what's interesting, too, and why our founding fathers had the insight and the intuition and the ability to see this. Now, this is an example. New York City. This is why we have the Electoral College. If we didn't have the Electoral College and we based our elections on popular vote, then New York City, along with, the New York City, the city, and then the state of Texas and the state of California would most likely determine all of our elections. So one city and 2 states would be able to determine our entire elections. Look at the population of New York in comparison to the northwest of the United States. Absolutely amazing. So if you don't think the Democrats aren't thinking about all this stuff, you're silly, because we already saw what happened with universal mail-in ballots, where they went in and did universal mail-in ballots because of the pandemic, COVID, which isn't going to happen again, although they're pushing for it. But it's amazing, is it not, that here towards the end, Biden is trying to look as though he's trying to take care of the border by limiting the amount of asylum requests through ports of entry, which is where they're supposed to be coming in. That isn't even where the problem is. These people are absolutely mind-numbingly agonizing. Absolutely extraordinary. Crazy. Anyway, guys, I want to thank all of you for your continued support. All of you guys across New Tech, as well as here on YouTube, for your guys' continued support. And, of course, appearing there on the screen, that will be the channel icon you guys can click on to subscribe to the channel, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I will see all you guys in the next video.